everyone. Good afternoon. It is September 28th, 2021. It's about 5:33 p.m. And I'd now like to call this meeting to order and ask that you please rise for the invocation and pledge of allegiance from Council Member Mr. Brad Childs.
How are y'all? Dear Lord, I pray for our staff and this council as we plan our future. I pray that we may all be leaders that believe in you as you direct our steps. I ask for your forgiveness as we stumble on our path. May we in turn lift up those that may stumble beside us. I pray we each make the best of each opportunity that we are given by you. Bless this meeting today, all those present, as well as all the lives we will encounter afterward. In your name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Childs.
Thank you.
On to item 3, motion. Motion finding that the advance posting and notice requirements of Article 8.1200 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Orange, Texas have been met in relation to all minutes and pending ordinances and resolutions on this agenda, and that the reading of such items be confined to the captions as are agreed upon by the ordinances and resolutions. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Can we have a motion and a second? Mr. Burge?
Aye.
Ms. Hennigan?
Aye.
Ms. McKenna?
Aye.
Ms. Salter?
Aye.
Mr. Childs?
Aye.
And Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. On to item 4, citizen comments. At this time, comments will be taken from the audience on any subject matter, whether or not that item is on the agenda. All comments are limited to a maximum of 3 minutes for each speaker. Your comments are appreciated. As the Texas Open Meetings Act does not allow the council to respond to items not listed on the agenda, your comments will be duly noted by the council and forwarded to the appropriate department for prompt consideration. A member of the audience that desires to speak during the city council's consideration of any specific agenda item is requested to notify city staff prior to the start of the meeting. At this time, the first name that I have on the citizen comments sign-in sheet is Ms. Gwendolyn Gray. Please come forward, state your name, address, and you have 3 minutes, Ms. Gray.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Gwendolyn Gray. I reside at 2222 Cross Lane, and I'm here this evening because I want to bring some attention to a home that's on the right side of 2222 Cross Lane. I have pictures here, and what's going on? The house has been abandoned. Nobody's living in the house. I've called fire code to come out and look at it. The house just, something needs to be done. It's an eyesore. Cats are going in and out through the windows. It could be hazardous to the neighbors, to the kids, or whatever. So I'm trying to see what we can get done. I have some other pictures of the homes that's in the neighborhood. So I wanted to come today to see if we can get something done.
2222 Cross Lane?
Cross Lane.
Okay.
That's your address, though, right?
That's my address. That's my address. The home that I'm concerned about, 22.
It's right next to it.
Cross
Is this
Lane.
the one that had the children in it? I believe you had met.
Yeah, we
Yes.
talked about it before. But
There
kids
was
have been
children.
removed from the home,
Okay.
so nobody's there. It's just there. The eyesore, the high grass and everything.
Thank you, Ms. Gray.
All right.
Okay. Okay, we'll move on to, we have Mr. Richard Pillsbury.
Thank you for your time. I'm kind of online with that. I'm just here to piggyback on that. First off, I'd like to thank those of you that answered my emails about the problem that I'm having. Basically, section 9.103 of our city ordinance tells us that we're here to protect and conserve the value of land throughout the city and the value of buildings and improvements upon the land. And if that said land is dilapidated, decayed, unsafe, unsanitary, or substandard conditions, or any conditions that fail to provide amenities essential to decent living, so that the premises are unfit for human habitation or are likely to cause sickness, disease, so as to cause injury to the public health, safety, and welfare. We're in violation of our own code is the way I'm reading this, because I've repeatedly reached out over the past 2 years about the people who live directly across the street from me. Now, this lady has one that lives adjacent to her as well, and I mean, we have no the way I see it is when we grew up, I had a huge police presence in my neighborhood. I knew a lot of the cops. And the cops would drive through our neighborhood, stop, and if they saw something like that, they would assist the codes department by stopping this stuff before it got out of hand. I don't know one police officer on the Orange County Police Force right now. And we have almost 7 entities within the confines of this county. And it's ridiculous. And we refer to these neighborhoods as neighborhoods in decline. And I would offer you consideration that we're allowing it to be declining because we're allowing this nonsense to go on. And it's causing a violent streak of crime that's going on. And no sooner did I send that email out to all of you, and 2 days later we had another shooting in Roselawn. I left here in 1986 to join the military, came back in 2015. In the span of less than 25 years, I've been through more combat zones that are safer to walk through than that neighborhood of Roselawn. And every district has one of those neighborhoods within it. The citizens are tired of having to deal with this. All right? I don't know what needs to be done other than us telling you that we're tired of it. I'd like to see more police presence in my neighborhoods. I'd like to see police leadership at these meetings so we can talk to them as well. I'm all about backing the blue, but I can't back who I don't know. And that's another issue. We have nothing going on with the police, but these neighborhoods are spiraling the wrong way, and people and businesses are moving out from the center of the city to the periphery of the city. You know, it's getting that bad. And we just had an Economic Development Council meeting in here, and I would challenge you to say that if we're gonna have economics come into our community, we need to clean our house first. I want to thank you all for your time and the hard work that you do. I know it's a job. It's especially when you have your own job to do. I understand that, but I'm not just speaking for myself. I understand that mine is just a small slice of the pie, but the city is the larger concept of what I'm talking about. Thank you for your time.
Mr. Pillsbury, I missed your address.
1812 DuPont Drive.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Pillsbury. Okay, Mr. Paul Dickerson.
Good evening, I'm Paul Dickerson. I reside at 6365 Chase Gardens in Orange, and wanted to take a little bit of time to talk about the Coastal Spine project that is pending. I also want to say that I do have a great deal of respect for each of you and for the job that you're doing, and it's very much appreciated. And as I have reached out to any of you or other city members, I've had my questions addressed, but the reason that I'm bringing it up again today is because I'm not getting the same answers, and my concern is that we're not really being told what's coming with this coastal spine. It's my understanding that a levee system is going to be brought into Orange that can have some very good positive aspects to it, but I am concerned that the negatives. So, positive side, we can take away those surges from hurricanes, but on most recently we've had rainfall events, and I'm very concerned that we're not going to be able to address that properly if we have a dam built between our city and the rivers. But more specifically, I'm really concerned about the economic impact that it will have on the city of Orange. We have tons of money invested in a riverfront park down here by the county courthouse. We've recently spent a lot of money at the boat ramp and the riverfront park down there. Both of those venues will be impacted. Lamar State College is investing heavily in our downtown area and will most likely be impacted in some ways by this levee system. I think it's good for the county as a whole, but I would like for us as City Council to offer some influence in ways in which we can prevent these positive aspects from negatively impacting us economically. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dickerson. And for those who haven't ventured to council meetings before, please understand that in the citizen comments, part of it says that we are not allowed to comment if it's not on the agenda. So we have answers for these comments that are being brought forth, but we are not allowed to respond to them until the appropriate time. So please don't think that we're just sitting up here not paying attention. We're just following the rules. With that being said, Miss Janice Earl.
An old lady coming down, she's gotta watch it. I'm Janice Earl, and I live at 1154 B. And of course, I'm concerned about the project. And I'm not gonna go through.
Pull your mic down, baby.
I couldn't hear. All right, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. And y'all have heard all the pros and cons about the project, and I'm not going to go through that. That's not what my concern is right now. What I am concerned about, one thing, is the pond that they're going to build, and all I can see is mosquitoes. A pond that's just infected with mosquitoes, and we're going to have to pay for that as a taxpayer. And these, what I'm asking the council is all these things that the contractors have said, they sound good, they are good, and if they could do it, it would be wonderful. But they're not going to be able to do most of them. And so what I'm asking the council is to look at the long term of how it's going to affect our community. These contractors come in, and then they build their projects, and then they leave. And leave us with the mess. If there's a mess, it leaves it, and then we're going to have to clean it up. And another thing that I see is that they're going to take the money out of Orange. It's not going to be put back into Orange. Whether if we have our own projects here that's going to benefit our community, then the money would be put back into Orange, be spent back into Orange. So that's one thing I'm concerned about. And what I'm asking the council to do is to think about this project and to make the right decision. Y'all have the opportunity to do something good for our community. And so I'm asking that y'all consider making the right decision for our community and vote no for that project. So I'm asking you that you listen to us and what we want in our community and to vote no. So that's where I'm at on it.
Thank you, Ms. Earl.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And we have Mr. Jason Rodriguez.
Good afternoon. My name is Jason Rodriguez. I'm originally from Thibodaux, Louisiana. I moved to Orange about a year and a half ago. I came to Sabine River Operations, worked for Dow Chemical, and worked on a project for about 10 months. During those 10 months, I made a lot of friends, got to know a lot of people and know the community a little bit. And so I decided to pursue a transfer. So I transferred to Orange, and me and my wife bought a house in Little Cypress. And you know, when I do something, I usually go all in. You know, I moved to Texas. I bought a Texas edition truck. I got Texas T-shirts, Texas hats. I got a Texas flag mask. I even bought a residential concrete orange and had it painted, and I got my initial on it, and it's in front of my house right now. So the short time I've been here in Orange, I'm proud to be here, and you know, I'm no stranger to serving my community. I was on in the volunteer fire department in Thibodaux for 17 years. One of those years I was a second lieutenant in my company. And I applied for the EDC board because I see that Orange is growing and I'd like to be a part of that positive change.
Yes.
And besides that, it wouldn't hurt to get to know more people and make some new friends. So thank you for considering me for that position.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, is there anyone else who would like to address the council at this time? Okay, if not, we move on to item 5, approval of minutes. August 24th, 2021, Orange Economic Development Corporation meeting. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Can we have a motion from Mr. Childs, a second from Mr. Birch? Mr. Birch?
Aye.
Ms. Hennigan?
Aye.
Ms. McKenna?
Aye.
Ms. Salter?
Aye.
Mr. Childs?
Aye.
And Mr. Bailey? Okay, that motion passes. On to item 6, proclamation, 2021 Ovarian and Breast Cancer Awareness Months. Proclamation from Office of the Mayor, City of Orange. Whereas September and October are National Ovarian and Breast Cancer Awareness Months, respectively, and our choices and actions have the power to protect the most vulnerable among us. And whereas ovarian cancer is rare and deadly and known as the silent disease with vague symptoms. And whereas there are no early ovarian cancer screening tests, and consequently many women are diagnosed with this disease at an advanced age. And whereas risk factors include a family history of breast or ovarian cancer, and any woman who experiences persistent symptoms, including abdominal or pelvic pain, pressure, swelling, or bloating, should talk with her healthcare provider. And whereas breast cancer is the most common cancer among American women, except for skin cancers, and approximately 1 in 8 women in the U.S. will develop invasive breast cancer during her lifetime. And whereas this year it is estimated that 302,960 women will be diagnosed with either breast or ovarian cancer, and 57,370 women will die from these diseases in the United States. Whereas it is imperative that women speak to their doctors and healthcare providers about these cancers and become educated about cancer symptoms and risk factors, as well as receive a yearly mammogram, which is recognized as the single most effective method for detection of breast cancer. And whereas the Gift of Life annually provides thousands of free breast cancer screenings and diagnostic mammograms, ultrasounds, and biopsies with access to cancer treatment to medically underserved Southeast Texas women. And whereas the Gift of Life has helped extend the lives of nearly 275 women whose breast cancer was detected through its free critical services, now therefore, I, Larry Spears Jr., Mayor of the City of Orange, Texas, do hereby proclaim the month of September as Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month, October as Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and Tuesday, September 28th, as Gift of Life, Save Lives Day in Orange, and ask all citizens to become informed. In witness hereof, I have hereunto set my hand and cause the seal of the City of Orange, Texas. Congratulations.
Good to see you.
There we go. It's okay.
I'm gonna get
We'll just get everybody
I'm
just
gonna
pick
get out.
around. There we go. Here we go. Let's do this. Here we go. Thank you. Yes, ma'am, please make a short comments. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Council and Mayor, for allowing us this opportunity to share our life-saving message with Orange. As you know, we've had a presence for nearly 30 years in Orange and fervently believe in providing our life-saving services to women who can't afford health insurance. And since the pandemic, we have continued our services and have found ways through our collaborative partnerships with our medical community at Baptist hospitals to ensure in Orange that we're here on a monthly basis. Since this year, we've screened over 400 women in Orange who've received our breast cancer screenings, and as the mayor said, our diagnostic, with 4 women that have been diagnosed with breast cancer, thanks to your support and the support of the individuals and businesses. As most of you know, you're familiar faces, you believe in our cause, And we feel so blessed that we're here and to be able to provide these life-saving services. And without your support, we simply wouldn't be able to be sustainable. Our fundraiser, which is an awareness initiative, we've included it in the little pink cups, and it's called the 5K Ribbon Run Monster Dash this year. It's going to be on October the 30th, and we encourage everyone to find ways to wellness and support our initiative. Also in the little cups, we have our mammogram screening flyer. So our services are free. We follow the state-funded eligibility, and we encourage everyone to please call us. The life you save will be yours, and certainly cancer isn't a singular solo impact on the families. It impacts everyone in your love circle of your family and friends. Another initiative, I'm trying to go real fast, is called ALAC, and it's also in there, and it's called Active Living After Cancer. We have been so fortunate to be a subrecipient with MD Anderson and offer this free 12-week class. It's Zoom, and it has been an evidence-based class that shows true health benefits to those that have gone through chemotherapy and the radiation. You can call us. We've got classes at night and during the day. Again, it's Zoom. It's free. We have health coaches, and it's been a life-changing experience for so many of our breast cancer, and all cancers can participate in this class. So we thank you for, again, with me is Beverly Perry and Pat McKee, my wonderful ambassadors of our cause and breast cancer survivors who are there that do the next step when someone's been diagnosed with breast cancer to hold their hand with our case managers throughout that journey. So thank you as always for this forum so where we can share our message and encourage everyone to take advantage of our services.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. On to item 7, city announcements, city staff announcements and city events. Mr. Coons.
We have our young ladies walking down now.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. We are very excited to speak about the Orangetober event that we'll have down at the Riverfront Pavilion and the Riverside Pavilion. That's what I was training myself on. The Riverside Pavilion and the City of Orange Boat Ramp. That'll be Friday and Saturday this weekend. We're going to have so many things for our community out there. We'll have 11,000 pumpkins with a pumpkin village. We'll have a pumpkin pie eating contest. We'll have the gumbo cook-off. We will have a cornhole tournament. We'll have food vendors, a craft beer booth, artists and crafters out in the boat ramp on Saturday, and so many activities for kids to do. So it's a great event to bring your whole family out to. There will be some picture opportunities where you can get family pictures with your children and your whole family.
Awesome.
And I think that's it. I think one thing that we really wanted to point out is that when you go out there, you'll see a lot of people with different shirts on and different organizations. We have been fortunate enough when we wanted to do an event to this magnitude, we knew that our staff of 3 probably couldn't take it on. And we reached out to the community and the response was overwhelming. And so we really just would like to publicly thank everyone who's volunteered. If we start naming, I know we're gonna miss because there's been so many people, and even people who have come out not representing an organization or their business, just individually. And we just really appreciate that. Also, the same day, Train Depot will be hosting Depot Day from 10 to 2 down at the Train Depot. A point that we would like to point out is, I don't know if you all remember, in the spring, we had Bassmasters down at Riverside, and then down at Stark Park and Riverfront Pavilion, we had Art in the Park and the car show, and it was just an amazing synergy down in downtown City of Orange, and so we're hoping to recreate that in the fall.
Yeah, so we hope everybody will join us out there.
What time?
So, this is gonna take place rain or shine, correct?
Absolutely.
We need to make sure we say that, so
Get your boots on,
people
put on your
won't think
raincoat,
that's
we will
right.
be
We're
out
gonna
there.
do it.
Yes,
And what
we will
time
be.
does it start?
So on Friday, there will be a ribbon cutting at 11
Okay.
a.m. And so the event will kick off at that time, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Okay,
And then the following day, everything will open up at 10 a.m. to 9 p.m.
okay.
And then Depot Day will run from 10 to 2. So you can come out in the morning and just kind of spend a whole day out there in downtown.
And then Sunday, we will have free pumpkin and hay bale pickup. So we encourage everyone to come pick up pumpkins, and they are free. There is not a limit. Please, get your trailers, get your trucks, bring everything.
We want the whole town to be covered in pumpkins.
Yeah, decorate your storefronts, decorate your homes and your porches and all of that. We want it to be something that people like. in the future, we'll say, oh, you know, Orange decorates all their storefronts, or Orange decorates all their homes, let's go drive through there one weekend. That's what our goal is. So with 11,000 pumpkins, I think we got a good start.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And
Thank
what time
you.
is the,
Thank you.
What time is the pumpkin pickup?
The pumpkin pickup will be 12 to 2 on Sunday.
12 to 2.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'm very thankful for this event. One of the things we've talked about in the last few years is trying to find ways to establish more events where families can enjoy one another and get out there and just be what God called us to be. So thank you for helping us establish a new event for the community of Orange. Okay, now we move on to item 8, public hearing. Conduct a public hearing on the allocation of hotel motel occupancy tax funding for fiscal year 2022. Ms. Zito.
Yes, Mayor and Council. So before we have our public hearing, I have a small presentation, just informational about hotel occupancy tax. We do this every year to remind y'all and everybody what hotel occupancy tax is all about and what it can be used for. If my technology would work.
Oh, I'm sorry. I need the thing out of there, please. Push all that.
Hard to get you to help us.
Somebody's gonna pay for this. Ready? Okay. So, out of all the hotel stays in the city, out of the taxes that the hotels collect, we get 7% here at the city. They remit it to the city every month. And by the revenue is restricted by Texas Tax Code Chapter 351. And it says, revenue from municipal hotel occupancy tax may be used only to promote tourism and the convention and hotel industry. Not only do we have restrictions, we have limitations. So for the expenditures for arts is limited to a maximum of 15% of our total expenditures. Right now, we only have the Electric Theater in this category, and you can see where they requested and staff recommended. So the staff recommended is 6.9% of the total expenditures. Budgeted, therefore, we're below the 15% limit. For historical restoration and preservation, that is limited to a maximum of 50% of the total expenditures. We have several applicants in this category. We have the Orange Depot, we have Heritage House, the African American Museum. All of these combined only make up 2.92% of our total, therefore we're also within limits in this category. And lastly, we have advertising and promotion. Cities that have adopt a rate over 3%, which is us because our rate is 7%, must spend at least 1% of that rate on advertising and promotion. So if that equates to 14.29% of the taxes collected. And these are all the applicants that fall within this category, like the Chamber Events, SeaTac Off-Ramp Magazine, the Orange Lions Club, and on and on. So therefore, all of these combined, staff proposed is 90.11%. Therefore, we definitely fall within our limitations for this category. This is a summary of the 3 categories and the requested amount and the staff proposed amount. And then we also have to worry about our reserves for this fund. Our estimated beginning reserve is about $2 million, a little over. Next year, we're projecting revenues from additional hot tax, $750,000. We have other revenues of $49,000. And then we have our staff proposed request, which we just saw on that prior slide, $717,000. So therefore, we expect to spend a little less than we're getting. So therefore, our projected ending reserves should be a little more. We always set back 15% as operating reserve, so that just safety net. Therefore, we call it our available reserve balance, 2.1 million. Now, this is more than it has been in prior years. We've had cancellation of events due to COVID, due to storms, or whatever the case may be. We've had applicants who weren't able to do their functions, therefore they didn't turn in their request, but they didn't get their money. So we've had lots of cancellations and such, therefore it boosted our reserve. So our reserve is a little healthy this year, and that's a good thing. We always like to keep a healthy reserve in case something happens to the hotel industry, and this money runs our CVB. So that's why we try to keep a healthy reserve there. And next, Leanne Dallas will go over all of the applicants' amounts.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Leanne Dallas, and I'm the event manager for the CVB. The first thing that I wanted to point out today when we were discussing this grant program is that last month in August, I was able to attend a TACVB conference, which was full of event managers and CVB managers all across Texas. And when they brought up this fund, I was amazed at how many cities did not take advantage of this, and they didn't allocate it to anyone outside. They just closed the funds. Some pre-COVID, and they never did, and some closed it because of COVID. And so I'm very grateful that through COVID, with the reserves and everything like that, we've been able to continue it, mainly because when organizations, and we have 15 here, 14 other than us, apply for this fund, that means because they're trying to do something better for the city of Orange. And we all know that one person can't do that, one organization can't do that, and there are many organizations that are trying to better Orange that don't even apply for this fund, but there's 14 right here, and then our organization that are on paper trying to do just that. To explain to everyone the process of this, our director, as well as the Orange CVB team, also known as Explore Orange, sat down and looked at the request, looked at what we wanted to put into reserves, and then came up with a contingent number to present to our CVB advisory board. We presented everything to our CVB advisory board, as we always do. We asked for their review and a recommendation. We got their recommendation. We're now going to bring it to you all. And of course, the council recommendation is what we end up going with. To reiterate, Cheryl gave some fantastic information, and just to reiterate, the hotels in the city of Orange do collect the 15%, and we get the 7%. And that's what funds the CVB and all of its, everything that it encompasses, as well as these 14 outside organizations. So I will now open to questions or comments from the council.
Well, I appreciate the presentation that it was been made. Thank you, Ms. Ito. Thank you, Ms. Dallas. There are a few things that I do want to talk about, but I will open it up to council first to see if there are any comments or questions from what we see on the list, or you may have received in your agendas previous to tonight before we move forward. Mr. Birch, any comments?
I'm going to talk about Cruzionics, the Juneteenth celebration with that 35,000. I'm kind of excited that we might have something big down there. You know, every year it's gotten a little better and a little better, but maybe we could have a real big celebration now.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yes.
Now that it's a national holiday.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, Ms. Hennigan?
Looks good to me.
Okay. Ms. McKenna?
I recuse myself from this vote and this discussion.
Okay. Ms. Salter?
I may have to recuse myself on a few of them, but
Okay.
I'm excited about it, and I think it looks good.
Okay.
Okay, before we vote on the budget, I have one item I would like to consider raising, which is the Orange Lions Club. They're struggling this year. I think we should bring them back up to the 5,000 mark.
I agree.
Okay. Mr. Bailey?
I agree with that.
Okay. And just to make it clear, so that was the things that I wanted to talk about before we went to the voting. For those who don't understand, Ms. Salter may have to recuse herself, and so may Ms. McKenna, not because they've done something wrong, but because they're a part of these organizations, so they can't vote to give money to something that they're a part of. Yeah, I want to make sure they know that. But what I did want to talk about is some people have asked me already, like, what's wrong? And I'm happy that Crew de Onyx is here, and I'm happy that Mr. Birch spoke up. I've received several phone calls today with people asking, why would we be giving a Mardi Gras crew $35,000? We're not giving a Mardi Gras crew $35,000. We're giving it an African-American group of people that are going to stand up and put together a wonderful presentation for Juneteenth for the city of Orange, $35,000. And so I'm thankful that you were here. I am grateful that you were here. Our team is very small, and we look forward to supporting you in your efforts and hoping that you guys can at least bring some good boudin and cracklings in from Louisiana. But one thing that I want people to understand is when I took this spot, I told you that we were going to put God first. And so for people to already be acting like this is a color thing, that's not what this is about. This is a family. So I wanted to address that before we went any further. Now, I do like your recommendation of the 5,000, which is
Lions Club.
for the Lions Club, yes.
But I will say before if we get to a motion, you know, we did skip the public hearing part.
Right,
So
yes,
if
sir, I
anybody
would
wanna
get to it,
comment.
yeah. So, however, one of the additions I would like to make, the Heritage House was damaged severely from the hurricane. They haven't ever had a chance to bounce back. They've done several hurricane expos where they've given out to people and helped them. So I know that they need a lot of money to get that back going. They do a lot of things for the community. So instead of doing 15 with a healthy reserve, I was looking at maybe an extra 10,000 to help them get that back on their feet. And another thing was, I think that was it. Like I said, that was my suggestion. So I was saying maybe 10,000 more for Heritage House.
Yes,
I
I
have a
agree.
question.
Yes.
The Mardi Gras parade, do we usually kind of stay within that $4,000 range? Is that
There's
enough?
audio right there.
I think last year it was about that much. Miss Ida, was it about that much?
I would like to increase it at least to 5.
Okay, so another 1,000. So Jay, are you writing this down? Okay,
Up there.
okay. So I'm saying
Want to make sure.
10,000 more for the Heritage House, 1,000 more for the Mardi Gras, 1,000, what is it, 2,000 more for Orange Lions Club?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And with all of those increases, it does fall within all of the percentage maximums and minimums that Cheryl went over.
Okay, and so let me go back, I'm sorry, to conduct a public hearing. So if there's anyone who would like to address council at this time, you may come forward and speak 3 minutes. Okay, come on down. Make sure to keep a list of what
I'm
we have.
Penny Lalou with the CTAC, Southeast Texas Arts Council. I did not know I was coming here tonight until like 45 minutes before. But yeah, 2,000 is kind of cutting us to the bone because these funds go towards our art magazine that covers 3 counties and it's distributed all over the state, plus we do a digital thing. We also do other things like the Cajun Heritage Festival. We're going to be doing a 3-county talent show, and there's several other art-related programs that go over the 3 states. And if y'all are cutting our funds back that far, then that means we're having to pull money from these other programs to do that magazine. So the last few years we've been at least getting 5, and we'd appreciate it if we could get the 5, because then we're not having to pull funds from somewhere else, from some other program that benefits the 3 counties. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We can't question it.
I mean, you can talk to her.
Miss Lulu,
Yes.
do you approach the other counties as well? Do they give you any funding at all for the
Yes,
magazine?
and it's getting harder everywhere. So we do get some funding, but each county gives us a portion of the fund, you know, because it takes a lot of money. If y'all's funds don't cover it, their funds don't cover it. You know, it takes all 3 counties' money to do it.
Okay.
Okay, Miss Ida?
My name is Ida Schasso, and I have Steve Jones here. He is the Vice Chair of Special Projects for the Chamber, and we just wanted to say, sorry, Dan, I'm beeping your thing. Though we have been cutting some things, we appreciate everything y'all do, and, you know, we go out and get sponsorships to help promote these things. It does cost more money than that, but we're fine with whatever y'all give us, and we appreciate everything you do, and it's our pleasure to be able to do these things to promote our city.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. If somebody wants to this is the one year that we can.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, I'm Geraldine Vine, and I'm from the Heritage House. First of all, I want to thank you, Mr. Mayor, for the recommendation of the extra money. The Heritage House has had some really difficult times, as many in the community have been slammed with hurricane after hurricane, but we've made a lot of progress in the last year. We've had expenditures that get near to $150,000 for the repairs, and we have quite a bit more still to go. But we're optimistic. The monies that you provide for us help us to maintain the house, to pay our regular expenses, and without that, we really would have a very difficult time proceeding. I want to invite all of you to come on October 23rd. We will have our ghost walk through historic Orange. Those of you who've been to the ghost walk in the past know that we hit several of the historic areas and tell scary stories. Again, I want to thank you all and appreciate everything that you've done. We're locked together, and we really appreciate our partnership.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm Lene Sanford, the Managing Director of the Ledger Theater, and I am so excited to say welcome back to the Ledger Theater after the longest intermission ever. As always, we'd like to begin by thanking you for all that you do for us and all that you do for our city. We truly appreciate you guys, and thank you so much for your continued support. Last year in 2020 during the pandemic, because of your support, we were able to have some COVID-friendly events. A jazz concert that was virtual, 2 drive-up style movies in the parking lot, and an outdoor concert, so thank you for that help. For 42 years, we have had the privilege of presenting professional performing arts events in downtown Orange, attracting audiences of about 30,000 people each year from all over Southeast Texas and Southwest Louisiana and beyond. And our goal is to continue to draw patrons to downtown Orange with the absolute best in performing arts. For 21-22 season, we are presenting 7 national tours of Broadway shows, 1 holiday Cirque spectacular, and 2 Grammy Award-winning musical artists. So we have 10 big events this year. Each year we spend approximately $100,000 or so marketing lecture programming, resulting in a significant regional impact for the city of Orange. And a portion of that advertising is dedicated toward reaching patrons from outside the area, hoping they'll come and see a show, spend the night in hotels. For 42 years, not only have patrons from outside the immediate area stayed in our hotels, but the performing arts companies, of course, put their folks in our hotels. And in 2019, our last normal year, 631 hotel rooms were rented by our lecture artists alone in Orange. So new this year I wanted to share is our preliminary report of the economic impact study of the Ledger Theater that indicates a $5.2 million economic impact of the Orange area generated by the theater in 2019. And this does not include money multipliers. And when you put money into the community, it reverberates and reverberates. So although the Stark Foundation owns and maintains our facility, this support does not fund our programming. And so Ledger Theater, Inc. is a separate nonprofit organization that is responsible for funding the $1.5 million or so in programming each year with ticket sales, grants, donations, and so forth. And so in conclusion, the Ledger counts on and appreciates you guys so much for your support with that hotel, motel, designated arts funding that you let us have. And we hope to continue to attract those world-class performing arts companies in and patrons from Southeast Texas and Southwest Louisiana and beyond. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I can't wait for January. I'm ready. If y'all don't know what's happening in January, the Queen, CC Winans, will be in Orange, Texas. Yes, CC Winans.
All right, my name is Freddie Champagne. I'm the president of Crudionics. We would like to thank you for your consideration. This is an event that we thought long about, so it's going to be a 2-day event. We're working on getting the bag of donuts for that Saturday and Keith Frank that Sunday. One of the things we do wish to do is bring the community together by doing a prayer type service at 10 a.m. on Sunday and bringing everyone together so that we can feel it as a community. This is not about race, this is about Orange, Texas.
Amen.
So we're working toward that for everyone and everyone in this town, okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. So do we have to go back and read the adjustments? Or do we have somebody else? I'm sorry. Come on, bud.
Well, our mayor, city council, and the CVB, we thank you for your support for the past couple of years. We struggle like everybody through COVID, but we saw in July this year, people want to get out. And so our business is back going. I do see several things that are different in the tourism industry. One is Lake Charles. We're sorry to see our neighbors and part of our families. My family's from over there, some of them, and it's not the same anymore. There's not as many places to go. There's a lot of the restaurants still down, some of the best ones there. People, a lot of our guests that go on our tours come from those casinos. They come over there. Before, we used to just hear they didn't have enough to do there. You know, they had the lazy river, they had things, but people with grandkids, children, they're looking for something more, and that was before. After these 2 major hurricanes that decimated Lake Charles, they literally, there's not even enough places to eat, to enjoy themselves like they did before, and they're looking for more. They're looking for more places to eat, more things to do. Lake Charles doesn't have it and is not going to have it for a long time. Orange does. Orange is right here on the way from, they pass right by in front of here going over there. Now we hear that, half of the people that call to go on our tour ask us, is there anything else to do in Orange? Well, we have our brochure racks right in the front of the office. We're right on the side of I-10. No one leaves there without an orange brochure and the person telling them about Shangri-La and the other things. No one that we've ever sent there has ever come back other than in awe how much fun it was for their family. They were trapped over there even when they had things to do, but not really doing many things for their family. It was mostly about the casino. Now you can see that a lot of them have learned the difference, or to really enjoy they have kids. Those kids want to do more than just be at the casino. Shangri-La is incredible for them. So we're getting a lot of them that we suggest to go there, and they all have good reports. COVID hurt our business to where we didn't, what it was I didn't put out brochures and things, because at that time we were shut down. There was no reason to spend any money from from the hot tax funds. It would have not been much benefit. Now it is. Now all those people looking for something to do, and now even more than ever, I'm out of time, we need the money to be able to buy brochures and all the things that we do. Now is the time, and I was in hopes that we could have got similar to what we did before to be able to do it now that COVID is done, or not done, but at least under control where people are looking to go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
He's the Adventures and she's the Dragon Lady.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. It's nice to see everyone. I would like to just kind of give you a little feedback on my year. I had a fantastic year. My business is booming. I have hired more captains. I'm excited to be able to offer kind of private charters that are COVID friendly or family friendly. And I just want to say thank you very much for helping me to make that happen as far as advertising, and I have been keeping track of how many people are staying in our town, and excited to report that approximately 25% of my clients are staying in hotels and are eating in our restaurants that I know of. That's not the people that turn and go to Bluebirds or leave and go to another restaurant, but that are telling me ahead of time, hey, where can I stay? What's a great hotel? Where can I be safe? What's a good restaurant? And so it's exciting to get that feedback and know we're keeping them in our community, not only with some of our tourism, but our family establishments and helping grow the town. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I would like to see if we can give her and the other gentleman another 1,000.
Okay. Thank you. Trying to see which ones they are. Dragon Lady, so 12, 13. So 12 would get another 1,000. That's the
12?
Dragon Lady.
Okay.
And then the
Number
interest.
10 would get another 1,000.
10, okay.
Number 9 gets another 2,000.
Gotcha.
And where did we go? And then it was
3 Heritage House.
10. It was 10 for Heritage House.
Yes.
So that's
And Mayor, to answer your question from a second ago, if everybody's done with the
And
public hearing, I'll get you to close that, then if you'll read the motion, then I'll read out
You'll
the
read it
numbers
out?
for everybody.
Okay, great. Okay, so we will now close the public hearing and move forward with considering a motion.
So, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Lecture Theater, 50,000.
Okay.
Friends of the Orange Depot, 3,000.
Okay.
Heritage House of Orange County Association, 25,000.
Yes.
Orange African American Museum, 3,000.
Yes.
Yes.
Chamber Mardi Gras Parade, 5,000.
Yes.
Chamber National Fishing Tournament, 40,000.
Yes.
Chamber Orange County River Festival, 5,000.
Yes.
SeaTac Off-Road Ramp Magazine, 2,000.
Yes.
Orange Lions Club, 5,000.
Yes.
Adventures 2,000 plus, 3,000.
Yes.
Gulf Coast Cajuns Chapter, 3,000.
Yes.
Dragon Lady Airboat Services, 3,000.
Yes.
Gate City Guild Number 42, 3,000.
Yes.
Crew to Onyx Juneteenth Celebration, 35,000.
Yes.
Convention and Visitors Bureau, 547,994.
You want to add $6 to that?
Sure.
Please. Can I get that?
So that's an increase of 15,000.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so with that, do we have a motion to approve as stated by city manager?
Motion.
Okay, we have a motion from Mr. Burge, Mr. Childs. Mr. Burge?
Aye.
Ms. Hennigan?
Aye.
Ms. McKenna?
Recuse.
Ms. Ms. Salter?
I better recruit.
Okay, Mr. Childs?
Aye.
Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes, and I'll say aye as well, just to make sure we have enough. All right,
Mayor?
thank you. Motion passes. On to item 10, ordinances. Consider an ordinance amending the
Thank you,
adopted. Yep.
Do we want to let folks go if they want to take the
Unless
opportunity?
y'all just want to see what else goes on.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you, Mayor and Council.
all right. Huh?
Get excited now.
Get it? Thank you all, seriously, thank you all for coming. Yes.
Yes, yes. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, y'all. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, y'all. Hello, Mr. Broussard.
Mhm.
There you go.
I didn't know that was going to be everybody.
I wanted him to stay.
Can we go?
I wanted him to stay. because he knows we answered every question. We've done everything he asked, and he showed up with that attitude. Okay, on item 10, ordinances. Consider an ordinance amending the adopted budget for the fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2020, and ending on September 30th, 2021, in accordance with the charter of the City of Orange, Texas. First reading, September 21st, 2021. Ms. Zito.
Yes, Mayor. This is the final reading of our ordinance to amend the budget for this fiscal year, 2021. And as I pointed out at the first reading, the majority of the amendments are for some housekeeping, like bringing projects, amending the budget to bring projects forward that didn't get finished in the prior years. We did have some major, larger changes, like the $308,000 refund of IDC to line elastomers. We had to amend the budget for that. The reduction of the interfund transfer that council approved of $770,000 between the general fund and water and sewer fund, that's at a budget amendment item. So this is just our final reading for these budget amendments. If there's
Okay.
any questions,
Do you have any questions or comments for Ms. Zito? Okay, if not, we will ask for a motion.
Motion?
Second.
Can we have a motion and a second? Mr. Burge?
Aye.
Ms. Hennigan?
Aye.
Ms. McKenna?
Aye.
Ms. Salter?
Aye.
Mr. Childs?
Aye.
Mr. Bailey? Okay, item 10B, final reading. Consider an ordinance by the City of Orange, Texas, denying the distribution cost recovery factor rate increase request of Energy Texas filed on or about August 31st, 2021, setting just and reasonable rates for Energy Texas for service within the municipal limits, finding that the meeting complies with the Open Meetings Act, making other findings. First reading was September 21st, 2021. Mr. Coons.
Mayor and council, again, the Lawton Law Firm recommends that we deny Entergy's rate increase. And so again, it's back at you for the second and final reading.
Okay, do we have a motion?
Motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Mr. Burge?
Aye.
Ms. Hennigan?
Aye.
Ms. McKenna?
Aye.
Ms. Salter?
Aye.
Mr. Bailey? Mr. Childs?
Aye.
Mr. Bailey? Thank you, gentlemen. Sorry about that. Item 10C, final reading. Consider an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Orange, Texas, providing that any street, road, boulevard, pathway, or trail acquired by the City of Orange through donation agreement, purchase, plat dedication, gift, grant, conveyance, interlocal agreement, eminent domain, or other legal method is a public roadway and serves a public purpose, finding that this ordinance is beneficial to the health, safety, and general welfare of the city. First reading, September 21st, 2021. Mr. Nall.
This is the second reading of an ordinance that codifies that any city street is a public roadway.
Okay. We have a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. Mr. Burge?
Aye.
Ms. Hennigan?
Aye.
Ms. McKenna?
Aye.
Ms. Salter?
Aye.
Mr. Childs?
Aye.
Mr. Bailey? Okay, motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Nall. Item 11A, consider a resolution approving an EDC infrastructure grant agreement with Columbus Motorsports LLC, 3500 IH10, West Orange, Texas, 77632, in an amount not to exceed $100,000. First reading was September 21st, 2021. Mr. Trahan.
Yes, sir. So, Mayor, this is the final public approval action step in terms of executing the agreement, which requires a first reading, and then 2 weeks later, we come back and do the final reading. And once we execute this final reading, then we can actually formalize the agreement. And I might add, there's amazing progress that's being done at this particular project with some openings that will be announced very soon.
Yes.
So I'll turn it back over to you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Mr. Burge?
Aye.
Ms. Hennigan?
Aye.
Ms. McKenna?
Aye.
Ms. Salter?
Aye.
Mr. Childs?
Aye.
And Mr. Bailey? Motion passes. Item 11B, consider a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a memorandum of understanding with the Southeast Texas Regional Planning Commission regarding the City of Orange's usage of the Southeast Texas Emergency Alerting Network, which could include a match not to exceed $5,633.60. Ms. Brown.
Mayor, Council, we use the stand program in order to reach some of our citizens, and this is just part of that, so we're able to get the data that we need for that.
Okay. Okay, we have a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Mr. Burge?
Aye.
Ms. Hennigan?
Aye.
Ms. McKenna?
Aye.
Ms. Salter?
Aye.
Mr. Childs?
Aye.
And Mr. Bailey? Okay, thank you, Ms. Brown. Item 11C, consider a resolution authorizing the city's participation in and acceptance of the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development Community Development Block Grant Award of $362,159 for the Community Development Block Grant Year 2021 federal funding. Ms. Monson.
Yes, this is just the final phase in accepting of the grant. And I just wanted to mention, since Julie Rogers was here earlier, they are part of this CDBG grant, that we give them money in order to do theirs. And also that we're going to have money this year for clearance and demolition to hopefully take care of some of the houses that some of the citizens are concerned about.
Thank you so much for that. We appreciate you. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Can we have a motion and a second? Mr. Burge?
Aye.
Ms. Hennigan?
Aye.
Ms. McKenna?
Recuse.
Ms. Salter?
Aye.
Mr. Childs?
Aye.
And Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Monson. Okay, item 11D, consider a resolution of the City Council of the City of Orange, Texas, selecting engineers to assist the city in its implementation of funding from the U.S. Department of Treasury for the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021. Ms. Zito.
Yes, Mayor. To go forward with our water and sewer projects using the American Rescue Plan Act funds, which was the $8 million that we were awarded in 2 installments. The first installment was $4 million. The city needs engineering services for the design and implementation of these projects. We had an RFP that was advertised and proposals were opened on August 31st. We received 4 proposals. However, the projects are kind of varied. Jim Wolf has plenty of projects over the city because our infrastructure is aging, and he's got plenty of projects already in mind, but they require different engineers. So what they've decided is to the most qualified based on their expertise and their specialties is to award this contract to 3 of the engineers and assign those engineers to the projects they're most qualified for. So staff recommends awarding the engineering services contracts to Schomburg and Polk, Fitz and Shipman, and Arsenault, Wilson and Cole.
Okay, have any questions or comments from Ms. Zito? If not, do we have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Can we have a motion and a second? Mr. Burge?
Aye.
Ms. Hennigan?
Aye.
Ms. McKenna?
Aye.
Ms. Salter?
Aye.
Mr. Childs?
Aye.
And Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Thank you, Ms. Zito. Item 11E, consider a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute change order number 1 with DCD Construction for the radio read meter changeout project for fiscal year 2021. Mr. Wolf.
Yes, Mayor, Council, thank you. This is change order number 1 and final on our current ongoing project for the installation of our radio read meters. We do a group that each year anywhere from 75 to 100 meters, radio read type meters. And so this is a change order that addresses a change in the scope of work at a particular location. And we recommend approval.
Okay. Do we have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Can we have a motion and a second? Mr. Burge?
Aye.
Ms. Hennigan?
Aye.
Ms. McKenna?
Aye.
Ms. Salter?
Aye.
Mr. Childs?
Aye.
And Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Okay,
Thank you,
motion
Ms.
passes. Thank you, Mr. Wolf. Okay. On item 11F, consider a resolution authorizing the purchase of Tyler Public Safety Software and authorizing the city manager to sign the Tyler Technologies License and Services Agreement on behalf of the City of Orange. Mr. Zito.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. City of Orange Police Department's been using what we call E4 software for almost 20 years. So, I've been coming in front of y'all for the last years trying to apply for a grant to purchase this software, to upgrade our software, which has always fell through. So this year, we're going to go ahead and purchase the software and do it over a 5-year period. But to get in compliance with the federal government and what we call our national base, our reporting system, we're trying to get up into compliance, which our software we have now is lacking that. So we're going to go ahead and get new reporting software, new computer, the dispatch software, which all includes this, and it also does data sharing with the other local agencies, Pinehurst, West Orange, Bridge City, and so forth. So we did put this in the budget for this year, so I just want to get approval for the city manager to sign the contract and move forward with this project.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Zito.
Thank you.
Do we have any motion?
Motion?
Second.
Can we have a motion and a second? Mr. Burge?
Aye.
Ms. Hennigan?
Aye.
Ms. McKenna?
Aye.
Ms. Salter?
Aye.
Mr. Childs?
Aye.
Mr. Bailey?
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you so
Zito.
much.
Motion passes. Item 12A. Consider a motion starting and ending the City of Orange's disaster pay policy in response to Tropical Storm Nicholas as found in the City of Orange's Personnel Policies and Procedures, Chapter 5, Compensation and Benefits, Section 25, Disaster Pay Policy for the Declaration of Disaster signed by the Mayor of the City of Orange effective at 6 p.m. on September 13th, 2021, starting the disaster pay on Monday, September 13th, 2021 at 6 p.m. and ending the disaster pay on Wednesday, September 15th, 2021 at 6 a.m. Mr. Coombs.
Mayor, council, we followed the Orange County judge's lead when he declared a disaster the other day, beginning at 5 p.m. The mayor followed suit starting at 6 p.m., which therefore, by our ordinance, for us to both start and stop the disaster pay, that has to be council action. So again, it's the recommendation that we start that disaster pay at 6 p.m. on that Monday, and then we ended it on that Wednesday at 6 a.m.
Okay, do we have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Mr. Burge?
Aye.
Ms. Hennigan?
Aye.
Ms. McKenna?
Aye.
Ms. Salter?
Aye.
Mr. Childs?
Aye.
And Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Coons. Consider a motion amending Chapter 5, Compensation and Benefits, Section 11, Holidays of the Personnel Policies and Procedures by adding June 19th, Juneteenth, as an approved holiday. Mr. Coons.
Mayor and council, as the mayor said last summer, and then President Biden followed the mayor's recommendation to declare Juneteenth.
Stole my thunder.
He declared a national holiday, but we had already been talking about adding this as a city holiday. Now, I would say in the years, and so we need to amend our personnel policy. Two things. One, we're going to bring a whole new, and I say whole new, we're going to bring an in-depth updating of that personnel policy to you in hopefully here in about a month or so. And that would include that in there. But we wanted to go ahead and get it in there because the fiscal year is about to start on Friday. But also, we're going to kind of follow the lead of Juneteenth, being that do we celebrate it on the actual June 19th, or as 2023, I believe it's going to fall on a Tuesday. So is the federal government going to observe the holiday on the actual date, or are they going to observe it on a Friday or a Monday? We'll kind of mirror what they do going forward. But nevertheless, the trendsetter, Mayor Spears.
Well, I tell you, I'm happy we're doing this because Juneteenth it's a wonderful opportunity to recognize, the situation that took place in Galveston, even though it was 2 years later from the actual mandate from the White House. Now actually seeing this as a national holiday, I look forward to seeing what all we can come up with to honor this. And I also look forward to seeing, I'm happy Mr. Bullard stayed behind, but to seeing what all you guys put together to help us recognize this national holiday. So thank you once again. Okay?
I'd like to make a motion.
I need to have a motion.
Right.
I'd like to make a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Second. Motion and a second. Mr. Burge.
Aye.
Ms. Hennigan.
Aye.
Ms. McKenna.
Aye.
Ms. Salter.
Aye.
Mr. Childs.
Aye.
And Mr. Bailey.
For
Okay.
the trendsetter.
All righty, thank you. Motion passes. Item 12C, consider a motion reappointing Kenneth Wheeler and Robin Craig Hunt to the Historic Preservation Commission for terms ending September 28th, 2023. Mr. Knopf.
Yes, sir. The terms of both Ms. Craig Hunt and Mr. Wheeler, their terms on the Historic Preservation Commission expired today. Both are eligible to be reappointed if this council so desires. There were no other applicants for this commission.
That was my question. Were there any other applicants?
No, sir.
Okay, do we have a motion?
Make a motion. You don't have anybody?
Motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second.
Yes.
Mr. Burge? Mr. Burge?
Aye.
Ms. Hennigan?
Aye.
Ms. McKenna?
Aye.
Ms. Salter?
Aye.
Mr. Childs?
Aye.
And Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Item 12D, consider a motion reappointing Mayor Larry Spears Jr. to the Orange Economic Development Board of Directors for a new 2-year term with specified dates of 9/30/2021 to 9/30/2023. Mr. Trahan.
Yes, sir. So Mayor and Council, this is a renewal by position of mayor. Historically, the mayor has always served on the EDC Board of Directors. So I'll turn it back over to you so we can do a renewal for an additional 2 years.
Well, I'll make a motion that we do what historically done. We keep it.
Okay. A motion and a second. Mr. Birch?
Aye.
Ms. Hennigan?
Aye.
Ms. McKenna?
Aye.
Ms. Salter? Mr. Mr. Childs?
Aye.
And Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Okay, thank y'all.
Cool.
Motion passes. Item 12E, consider a motion reappointing Michael Smith to the Orange Economic Development Board of Directors for a new 2-year term with specified dates of 9/30/2021 through 9/30/2023. Mr. Trahan.
So I'm really thankful that Michael Smith is available to serve for an additional 2-year term, not only for his commitment to service, but secondly, because we've just executed a new EDC Series 2021 bond that we're continuing to work on, and it was really important to keep him in place because of the future signings that will need to be taking place as we move through the process with Guy Goodson's legal advisement, James Gilley from a financial perspective, and then the City Secretary's office to make sure we're staying on course, along with Finance Director Cheryl Zito. So he was willing to serve one more 2-year term, and he's eligible to do so, so we would recommend that reappointment as well.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Mr. Birch?
Aye.
Ms. Hennigan?
Aye.
Ms. McKenna?
Aye.
Ms. Salter?
Aye.
Mr. Childs?
Aye.
And Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. And last but not least, consider a motion appointing Jason Rodriguez to the Orange Economic Development Board of Directors for a 2-year term with specified dates of 9/30/2021 through 9/30/2023. Mr. Trahan.
Yes, sir. So the opening was created, Mr. Mark Fry, with everything that he has going on with his new dealership, has decided to step down for a year and then maybe consider an additional appointment a year from now. But we want to publicly thank him for his service. He's
Yes.
also served as the president of the EDC in the
Yes.
past. But as we know, he has a mega project that's currently in the works out at the interstate. So this created the opportunity. You heard from Mr. Rodriguez earlier during citizen comments, and he's with us this evening. So we'd like to make the recommendation to bring him in as our newest EDC board member for a 2-year term.
I'm going to make a motion that we accept him and thank him for choosing Orange.
I'll
And,
second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Mr. Birch?
Aye.
Ms. Hennigan?
Aye.
Ms. McKenna?
Aye.
Ms. Salter?
Aye.
Mr. Childs?
Aye.
Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Motion passes. Congratulations. Reports, city manager report, Mr. Coons.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. First of all, I'd like to say congratulations to Mayor Spears for being named the Orange Leader Best of Orange County Poll contest. He was nominated and was chosen Best City Council Member and Best Community Activist. And also recognize Paul Birch. He was named Best Local Actor. And also congratulations to our park staff. They were also, Orange Lions Den Park was named the Best Local Park.
Hey.
So congratulations to all of you. And if I missed somebody out in the audience, y'all are best too. Some more good news. We were notified by the law firm, the attorney, his first name's Alan. I can never say, thank you. I can never say his last name, but from the census and what they've said and all that, we do not need to redistrict.
Yes.
So I told them we didn't want to since we didn't have to.
That would have been hard.
Next week, I will be out with some of you, council, on the TML annual conference. It's next week. I'm going to be out of the office Wednesday through Friday, so that's October 6th through 8th. So if you need me, I will be out in Houston learning. And then also, as we kind of discussed last week in regards to waste management, today's just Tuesday, so we do not have yet what kind of refund, if you will, or adjustment that we're going to make. But just keep in mind, when one gets one's utility bill, that is combined water, sewer, and sanitation. Keep in mind, for one container, a monthly charge is like $23, $24. So, somebody's not going to look down there and see a $100 adjustment. It's going to be more reflective of just that charge. So,
Well, I appreciate you doing that and working with Ms. Zito to make sure, because that was a question that's been received, I'm sure, by all of us from every part of the community, whether or not they would see a refund on their upcoming bill. And we want people to understand this was a serious incident that happened concerning COVID. They did the best that they could. They are back to regularly scheduled program. And so hopefully we can find a way to avoid this from ever happening again. But just as before, the city of Orange has faced trial after every tribulation, and we're going to find a way to get through it.
Yep.
So thank you. Okay, city council report, starting with Mr. Bailey.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, on a pump station in Roselawn, I think it's the Camille main drag in there when you turn off of 87. If we could get some people from the street department or wherever to go in and kind of clean that area up around there, it's kind of getting to be a little hazard driving, especially pulling out off that service road right there by the bank. I would very much appreciate it.
Okay. Okay, anything else?
My condolences go out to the family of Bobby Manshak. We're slowly losing our major players in this town. If you didn't know Bobby, he was constantly volunteering, even to the point of the night my mother died, he escorted her in his car. He was constable also, all the way from Beaumont to my parents' house so she could be there with me. Again, my prayers, hearts, hugs go out to the Manshak family.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Salter.
We have, I have received calls, and I have went out to the Claremont addition, and the mayor is also aware of this, of the complaint of them during maybe, I guess, hard rains, unable to flush the toilets at times, but it was addressed. Mr. Wolf really addressed it. He met with engineers. They figured out that roots, some type of roots were in there, and so hopefully they have solved the issue. So we're just going to stay tuned, and we ask residents to always let us know. Things occur, and there are times where, you know, if you don't tell us, we won't know, and we cannot address the issue. So always just inform your representative of things that are going on in your community, and we will address it. Thank you, and congratulations, sir. Mr. Rowe, is that how you say it?
Road Reed.
Road.
That's that Louisiana stuff.
Welcome to the.
We're gonna just call him, call him Jason.
Well, Mr. Jason, welcome to the family.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Halter.
Thank you.
Ms. McKenna?
Just want to say what an honor it is to sit next to this man who is the
thank
best
you.
in Orange, Texas. Does
Thank
all the
you.
good things for this community, and it is a true honor to serve with him and for the people of Orange to acknowledge him. It's
Thank
really
you.
an honor.
Thank
So,
you. I appreciate it.
That's all.
I was shocked. I was, because it's the whole county. I was like, wow.
That's awesome.
Ms. Hennigan?
I'll see you at the Orangetoberfest
Okay.
this weekend.
Mr. Burge?
And, well, I was the best actor, and of course, we hadn't had any shows in 2 years, so.
That means you left a lasting impression. They remembered you.
I want to hear the same.
Hey, that's a good point. That's a good point. 2 years, this is his last performance, and people remember who he is.
Okay.
That's all right then.
I want to hear the singing part.
Saturday at the Depot and at the Oktoberfest.
All right. Last but not least, before we go to adjourn executive session, I do want to thank everyone that came out tonight. I want to thank council. When I was found out that I won those things, it's crazy because, you know, normally you get excited and you're like, oh, wow, I'm thankful. But immediately, I begin to think of all of you and how wonderful it is working with everyone and that we're a team. I really enjoy doing this because we're a team. When I go to work every day, some of the guys joke with me and they're like, man, you were getting beat up last night on such and such social media page, and you know, how does it feel? Well, it feels good because I have people who support me, who message me, and who jump on there and respond and say, hey, we're working on this. And so I also want to say thank you to the city staff, because for someone to be chosen from our city, from the entire county, that's a reflection on you. And my day-to-day job is here. I make $5 a day as mayor, so that ain't gonna make it happen. So I do appreciate each and every one of you for all that you do. And so to me, as a representative and as a servant to you, I think that that honor goes to you. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I think that, like I said before, we've been through several trials and tribulations, but the best is yet to come. And we're going to keep putting God first in all that we do. Okay, with that being said, we go adjourn to close executive session. Deliberation with city attorney pursuant to Chapter 551 of Texas Government Code. Consultation on collective bargaining with Orange Municipal Police Association. And also Section 551.087, Texas Government Code, Eagle Point Parkway, Phase 1, Medical Center Drive. At this time, if you aren't a part of council, you can hang out in the library or outside the doors, and we'll let you know when we reconvene.
Motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, a strong second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.